o wai whakata I waho, a ki raro a Papatuanuku, a ki runga a Ranginui. Ka hara mai kia puri ai e ngā hau a tāwhiri mātia ki ngā maunga. Te reo huri te titiro a ki Pikirauraki. Ara, ko tērā hoki te korako, te wahi motuhake o tō tātou taonga ara ko te paunamu. Reri ana a te tai ki whakatupu wai awa, ko whakatupu wai tai, ko whakatupu wai Māori, a ki konei a ki te takiwa o tō tātou tūpuna wahine motuhake rongonui ara ko haki tukura. Rei ka whakahoki ki konei ki wai whakaata, ki rungi te kaupapa o tara nei, he kaupapa motuhake, he kaupapa tino nui. Rei huri ki tō tātou atua, ki a whakatau tōna rangi Māori e tika pono ki runga I tēnei kaupapa, I tēnei wā. Rei I atua whakawhetai, whakamoi miti atu ki a koe, mō ake a tono atu, e homa I te ihi, te wehe, te manata tapu, ki runga I tō tātou kaupapa, I tēnei wā. Rei ka tika, a ka huri whakaro ki a rātou, a kua huri ki tuara ki a mātou, nā mati o te motu, haere, haere, haere. Nā aitua me ngā mate ki rungi a koutou, mauri a mai ki hono ki ngā mate me ngā aitua o te whenua, o kaitahu ka te māmoe, wai tā haere atu rā. Kōrero, ka hinga he teitei kura, ka ara mai he teitei kura, nei rea huri whakaro ki tō tātou rangatira, kua noho ki runga I tēnei tepu te rātau, Glenmar, kua mahi e te mahi anō, ki waho ki tērā mahi anō, engari, tika, kia mihi atu ki ngā kanohi hau, kia whakatau ki runga I tēnei tepu e tēnei wā. Nei rohone, John, mihi atu ki a koe, te rangatira o tēnei wā, tēnei kōrero o tōku mātua, no Ngāpuhi ia, whati te tuara o te hoiho, o rite ka te mōheo o te kaha o te mahi o te tangata. Nā reira kia kaha, kia maia, kia manawa nui, ki rungi tō mahi, ki tiaki hāpore, tiaki whenua, tiaki tai au, nā reira, anei te inua atu ki a koe, kia mahi, ki rungi te whakaro, ara ko te kotahitanga, I te taha o tō iwi, kai tahu kā te māmoe waitaha E tēnei wā, kia kimi he huarahi, a tika pono he huarahi mō mātou, mō ngā uri a muriaki nei. Ana rei, tēnā koutou, a tēnā koutou, a tēnā tātou. Just a quick explanation. Just mihi tū, in the first instance, to our whenua and our land, these special places that you have the role and in partnership with your treaty partners, the role to look after our land and especially our communities within this space. It's a beautiful space. We love our uru whenua, the inland. We come in from our traditional living spaces to come into the space to enjoy the wonderful scenery and the wonderful mauri or mana that this place has. So kia kaha, we say, be strong in the work that you do, and look forward, your kaitiaki, you're looking after this, and we look forward to working with you in this space to achieve great outcomes for our communities, for our whenua, and for our children and mokopono to follow us. Nā reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Te urunga tū, te urunga tapu te Māori tū, te Māori tapu te Māori te whiwhia, te Māori te rāwea, te Māori no hea, te Māori no runga no rangi no nuku tū. Tēnei te Māori ka whakapiki, tēnei te Māori ka whakake. Te Māori o te kahi ka hou, te Māori o ngā kai kaunira hou, te Māori o tēnei iwi, te Māori o enei hapu, te Māori o enei tāngata. Te Māori nā rangi whakaputa ki te whaiau ki te ao marama uhi, wero, tau mai te Māori, haumi e, hui e, tāe ki e. So kia ora koutou, just on the back of tō tātou rangatira, Dean, tana mihi ki a koutou, his acknowledgement to you all and the job that you have going forward. Our karakia this morning is just a karakia to imbibe new energy and a new council with a new mayor going forward, and for, again, just supporting the words of Dean, and I'm sure that you all are thinking that at this time as well, of the many things that you have to go forward, and what a beautiful place that you have to look after, and so many more people also that you have to look after in this place. So kia ora tātou. Manu tiri a manu e rohi a ki te poho te raka kata urere kata mai te hi e tau e koia kota rarariki ki mai maui e hara i te tū me te waru e tau e koia.
Kia ora everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to this inaugural meeting of the newly minted Queenstown Lakes District Council. Thank you Dean, for your words and for that recognition that we are a partnerships people, and we all, and councillors in particular, are guardians of this place and these peoples. Both the history of this place, the today of this place, and the future of this place rests in your hands collectively. So we acknowledge and welcome our mana whenua to open this whole proceedings for today. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mike Teelan and I'm the Chief Executive of QLDC. And it's my honour, until such time as we have a council, to host the proceedings. This is the last few minutes of me being able to exercise unbridled power in the district. I haven't yet exercised that, so it might be a last quick shot. I'm just going to record initially the apology of Nikki Gladding. So Nikki has been elected to council, but is unwell and not able to participate in this inaugural meeting, and so is unable to be sworn in. It's our intention that she'll be sworn in at the inaugural Wanaka Upper Clutha Community Board meeting, and that will be the first item of business today. So QLDC and Queenstown Lakes District is, we often say, is a unique district in this country. And it's one that politicians in Wellington get tired of hearing us saying, but it's a reality and a truth that we continue to hammer home. We are favoured as being one of the most popular places to be, and we have some significant challenges as a result of that, notably challenge around protecting our environment, protecting our mana, and also becoming a home to an even greater number of people from around the country and around the world every day. These are significant challenges, and these are the challenges that are placed before this group of people for the next 3 years. And so as you make your declarations and take your oath of office, it's pertinent to be really mindful that this is, whilst it's a joyous occasion, it's actually also quite a solemn occasion. It's actually an important occasion of actually taking a significant step forward into the governance role on behalf of the communities of Queenstown Lakes. So with that in mind, we are now going to go through and allow each of the elected members to make their declarations. We'll start with His Worship the Mayor, and I will basically take his declaration and sign that, and then John will then take over and he will receive the declarations of each of the councillors in alphabetical order. So without any further ado then, I'm going to invite John Glover to come to the lectern and to read the declaration.
So I, John Shepherd Glover, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Queenstown Lakes District the powers, authorities and duties vested or imposed upon me as Mayor of the Queenstown Lakes District by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And as part of that, we will ceremoniously place the chains of office on you. There you go. Congratulations, John. Welcome. Repeat.
So if Gavin would like to come to the front and read your declaration, please.
I, Gavin Stewart Bartlett, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Queenstown Lakes District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as Councillor of the Queenstown Lakes District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 and any other act. Sign that. Very good.
Samuel.
I, Samuel Ellison Belk IV, aka Q, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Queenstown Lakes District the powers, authorities, and duties vested in or imposed upon me as Councillor of the Queenstown Lakes District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act of 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Stephen.
I, Stephen Ross Brent, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Queenstown Lakes District the powers, authorities, and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a Councillor of the Queenstown Lakes District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Heath.
I, Heath Colin Copeland, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Queenstown Lakes District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a Councillor of the Queenstown Lakes District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 and any other act.
Nicola.
I, Nicola Gillian King, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Queenstown Lakes District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as Councillor of the Queenstown Lakes District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
John.
Kia ora whanau. I, John Frederick Mitchell, or Mitch, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Queenstown Lakes District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as Councillor of the Queenstown Lakes District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Quentin.
I, Quentin Clifford Smith, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Queenstown Lakes District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a Councillor of the Queenstown Lakes District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Cody.
I, Cody Ross Tucker, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform, in the best interests of the Queenstown Lakes District, the powers, authorities, and duties vested in or imposed by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Melissa.
I, Melissa White, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Queenstown Lakes District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a Councillor of the Queenstown Lakes District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Matt.
I, Matthew Donald Wong, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and in accordance to according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of Queenstown Lakes District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as Councillor of the Queenstown Lakes District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Welcome everyone to the new council. So looking at the agenda items before us today, a requirement under the Local Government Act is that we do require a briefing from our legal counsel to cover certain matters. There are spare copies of the presentation at the meeting, so I would like to move that we receive the legal briefing and that the legal responsibilities be noted. Do I have a seconder to?
So we need to have Brendan come up and read those.
Yes, yes, yeah, and then we'll note them.
Good afternoon, Mayor and councillors. As you've just heard, it is a requirement that we let you know about certain pieces of legislation. You're going to have an induction program in front of you that's going to cover off on all of this, so not intending to go into detail today about that, just to let you know about some of the legislation. It's not going to be exhaustive. If you have any particular questions, they'll probably be answered in the induction, or you can always send a note through and we can provide you with more information. So this is just a heads up, really. The types of laws we're talking about are establishment, how it makes decisions, and in particular conflicts of interest for council members. Also, just briefly mention some of the main pieces of legislation that you're going to be dealing with around planning and development, information, so information requests under the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act, and also privacy of information, land and in particular council reserves, finances, and then some particular regulatory functions that the council will carry out around alcohol, dogs, traffic and parking, lakes and waterways, and freedom camping. Also briefly mention some law reforms which are on the way. You're probably all aware of the water services legislation, also the Local Government Systems Improvements Bill, which is on the way. We're in the midst of fast-track projects under that new legislation, and there's also Resource Management Act reforms on the way too. The Local Government Act 2002 is the sort of main piece of legislation. It talks about what the council's job is, decision making, etc., who the decision makers are, the role of the mayor, councillors, chief executives. Talks about duties, conflicts of interest and liabilities. And Local Government Act 1974 is still in force, but most of it's been repealed, and it mainly is around roading that we still look at that. So under the Local Government Act 2002, some key responsibilities are the annual plan and the long-term plan, which returning councils will know and love, and new councillors will be looking forward to, I'm sure. So in terms of conflicts of interest, the key bits of legislation, there's a pecuniary register of interests with annual returns required by each council member. First one's due in 120 days, and then the end of February each year. And there's offences if you don't comply with those pecuniary interest requirements. There's a few different laws that relate to conflicts of interest. There's the Local Authorities Members' Interests Act, and that relates to financial interests of members, and it can disqualify you. It can disqualify contracts if there's an interest greater than $25,000. It's quite complicated. I won't try to go into it here, but just point it out. And it also disqualifies councillors from participating in discussions or voting on matters where they do have those financial interests. There's general laws around bribery and corruption and secret commissions.
under the Crimes Act and the Secret Commissions Act. There's insider trading and market manipulation laws, which can be relevant in your role as councillors under the Financial Markets Conduct Act. And in relation to non-pecuniary interest, those are dealt with under the standing orders, which council will adopt. Planning and development, one of the key functions, two main pieces of legislation. There's the Resource Management Act and the Building Act. The committee that deals with those will have a lot to do with that legislation. Freedom of information is a key piece of legislation that's mentioned. Essentially, information held by council, including councillors, is available to the public. There's some limited exceptions, and people can apply and get that information just in the interests of open government and transparency. The Privacy Act is a bit of an overlay on that and is there to protect people's privacy. There's lots of laws around Land Reserves Act, Property Law Act and Land Transfer Act, etc., that we can go through later. The financial legislation, Local Government Ratings Act and Local Government Act, talks about rates, development contributions, accountability and audit. All of that as well is detail that will go into an induction. And then regulatory functions, there's separate legislation for each of those. Sale and Supply of Alcohol Act, Dog Control Act, Land Transport Act, Maritime Transport Act and Freedom Camping Act. And there's new legislation on the way, as I said. Local Government Water Services Act 2025 is here. The Local Government Systems Improvements Bill is on its way. There's a report due back in November, and there's RMA reforms on the way as well, and development levies. There's also reform in that area under the Local Government Infrastructure Funding Bill. So that's pretty much just a waltz through all of the pieces of legislation that you're going to come to know and love, and that's the end of the briefing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Council, I'd like to thank Mr. Peter, our General Counsel, for that presentation. And as per item 5 on the agenda, I'll move that the briefing on our legal responsibilities be noted. And Cody's happy to second. So no discussion? No, good. I'll put the motion for to be to the vote, and we'll have a show of hands on whether that is accepted. Okay, so that's carried. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda, item 6, is the appointment of the Deputy Mayor, and my role is to announce who should be appointed Deputy Mayor pursuant to Section 41A(3) of the Local Government Act 2002. And in terms of choosing the individual, I've looked at it from a very pragmatic point of view, and if I got run over by a bus on the Frankton Road, who would be able to fill that role ably and immediately? And I'm asking councillors to approve the appointment of Councillor Smith in that role. So the motion that I would move is that the council note the appointment of Councillor Smith as Deputy Mayor of the Queenstown Lakes District 25 to 28. And do I have a seconder? Thank you, Gavin. We'll put that to the vote. All in favour, show. Aye. Aye. Thank you. No conflict there. Thanks. So that motion is carried, and I'd like to confirm Quentin to that role. Congratulations. So item 7 on the agenda is the appointing members to the Wanaka Upper Clutha Community Board, and the constitution of that board is 4 elected members and 3 appointed members. And the tradition has been, if the mayor comes from Wanaka, it's generally accepted the remaining 3 councillors from the Wanaka Upper Clutha ward will be appointed members of the community board, but noting that Nikki Gladding is not yet appointed as a councillor, but the intention that she will be part of that community board once appointed. So the motion I'd like to move is that the council agree that councillors King and Tucker be appointed members of the Wanaka Upper Clutha Community Board for the 2025 to 28 triennium. And I'll move that, and Melissa's seconded. Can we put that to the vote? In favour? Right, that's unanimous. Thank you. Carried. And item 8 on the agenda is appointing elected members to community associations. And it's a great strength of our organisation and our communities that we do have links of buddy councillors to support community associations and community groups right the way across the district. And I'll run through the list. We do have one addition to the list that was on the original agenda, which is that, because I forgot to put it down, the Lake Hayes-Sholiver Country Community Association was not included. So that is going to be added to the list. So first I'd like to move an amendment that we do add the Lake Hayes-Sholiver Country Community Association to the list that we will approve representatives to. Seconded by Q. Councillors, show of hands please in favour. That's unanimous. Excellent. So I will move, and I'll read them out so everyone can hear them, that the council approve the appointments of elected members of the community associations as follows: Albertown, Kathy Dido; Arrowtown Village Association, Samuel Q. Belk; Arthur's Point, Samuel Q. Belk; Cadrona, to be confirmed but intended to be Nikki Gladding; Fernhill, Matt Wong; Frankton, Stephen Brent; Gibbston, Melissa White; Glenorchy, Stephen Brent; Harweir, Cody Tucker; Calvin Peninsula, Gavin Bartlett; Kingston, John Mitchell; the Lake Hayes-Sholiver Country, Melissa White; Luggett, Nicola King; Makarora, Cody Tucker; and Mount Barker, John Wellington. So I so move. Do I have a seconder? John Mitchell, thank you. Councillors, show of hands please in favour. Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you. That motion is carried. Item 9 on the agenda is appointing a member to the Otago Central Lakes Regional Deal Negotiating Committee, and this is for us to appoint a councillor to the committee pursuant of 1.3 of the Memorandum of Agreement between the councils, where it's been agreed the committee will continue through the elections. And so noting that I'm already a member by virtue of office. So I would like to move that Council appoint Councillor Smith to the Otago Central Lakes Regional Deal Negotiating Committee, noting it will be subject to confirmation as part of the appointment process for all council committees and joint committees. So that is the motion that I would like to move. Do I have a seconder for that? Q, thank you. Councillors, show of hands please in favour. That's all carried. Thank you. And then moving to the last item on the agenda, which is fixing the date for the first ordinary meeting of the Queenstown Lakes District Council, which is a requirement for us to fix at this meeting. And I would like to move that the council agree that the first ordinary meeting of the Queenstown Lakes District Council will take place on Thursday, the 27th of November 2025 in Council Chambers at 10 Gorge Road, Queenstown, beginning at 10 a.m. So do I have a seconder? Sorry, at 1 p.m. Oh, getting ahead of myself there. Thank you, Mike. Stephen, to second that, so putting that motion to council for a show of hands, please. Aye. Aye. That is carried, and that motion is passed. So that is the conclusion of the formal business of this meeting, noting that the meeting is closed at 1:36. It's now appropriate to conclude the live stream, and thank you all for watching. I would appreciate that. And our pleasure to invite all of you who are here to remain behind and join us for a light afternoon tea. And thank you for coming to witness this inaugural meeting. Right.